Have you ever cried, but made sure no one could hear it? Not loud crying, not the kind where someone comes and asks if you're okay, but the quiet kind. The kind where you sit on the edge of your bed, or in the bathroom with the door locked, or in your car before going back home. You wipe your tears quickly, take a deep breath, and tell yourself, "It's okay, I'll be fine." And then you walk back into the world like nothing happened. Many women know this feeling very well, not because they want to hide their pain, but because somewhere along the way, they learned that some emotions are easier to carry alone. So today, we're not here to judge it. We're not here to say it's right or wrong. We're simply here to understand something many women experience, but rarely talk about. Why do so many women cry in silence? From the outside, many women look completely fine. They laugh, they work, they take care of people around them. They show up every day. And because of that, people assume everything must be okay. But what people don't always see is the emotional world inside them. The quiet worries, the disappointments they never say out loud, the small moments that hurt but seem too small to explain. Sometimes a woman is carrying so many feelings inside her, and yet no one around her realizes it. Not because people don't care, but because she has become very good at hiding it. Smiling when she feels tired, saying, "I'm okay," when she doesn't even know how to explain what she feels. And over time, something happens. Her tears stop being something she shares. They become something private, something she only allows herself to feel when no one else is watching. Most women were not born hiding their emotions. As little girls, many of them cried freely. When they were sad, they showed it. When something hurt, they said it. But as they grow older, the world slowly teaches them something different. Sometimes directly, sometimes very subtly. They hear things like, "Don't be too sensitive. You're overreacting. You're being dramatic. Why are you making such a big deal?" And after hearing these things enough times, many women begin to question their own emotions. They start wondering, maybe I really am too emotional. Maybe I should just keep this to myself. So slowly, they begin to hold things in. They stop explaining how much something hurt. They stop sharing certain feelings. And eventually, they start crying in places where no one can see. Not because their emotions disappeared, but because they learned that showing them might not feel safe. Many women grow up becoming the emotional support for others. They are the ones people come to when something is wrong. The friend who listens for hours, the partner who understands, the daughter who tries to keep peace in the family. They become very good at caring for other people's feelings. But sometimes, while they are busy holding everyone else together, no one asks how they are really doing. And even when someone asks, they often say, "I'm fine," not because they want to lie, but because explaining everything inside them would take too long, or because they don't want to burden anyone. So they keep listening, they keep supporting, they keep being strong. And when the day finally becomes quiet, when everyone else is asleep, that is often when their emotions finally come out, in silence. There's another reason many women cry alone. A quiet fear that their emotions might be too much for others, too intense, too complicated, too inconvenient. Some women have experienced moments where they opened up about their feelings and were met with discomfort. Someone changed the topic. Someone dismissed it. Someone told them to just move on. And moments like that stay in the memory. They teach a quiet lesson. Maybe it's better to keep this to myself. So instead of sharing their tears, they wait until they are alone. Not because they want to isolate themselves, but because crying alone feels safer than feeling misunderstood. For many women, crying in silence is not about weakness. It's actually a way of coping, a quiet moment where they finally allow themselves to feel everything they were holding back. No explanations, no expectations, just emotions. Tears can be a release, a way for the body to process stress, sadness, disappointment. After crying, many women do something remarkable. They wipe their tears, take a deep breath, look in the mirror, and then they return to their lives. They go back to work, they go back to caring for others, they go back to smiling. And most people around them will never know what happened, not because their pain wasn't real, but because their strength is often very quiet. If you have ever cried in silence, you are not strange. You are not weak, and you are definitely not alone. There are countless women around the world who know exactly what that moment feels like. The quiet tears, the deep breath afterward, the decision to keep going. Sometimes the strongest women are not the ones who never cry. They are the ones who carry so much inside their hearts and still choose to move forward every day. And maybe, just maybe, one day women won't feel like they have to cry alone. But until then, those silent tears are not a sign of weakness. They are simply proof that behind every calm smile, there is a heart that feels deeply. And feeling deeply has never been something to be ashamed of. And before you leave, maybe there's something in your heart that you've been carrying quietly for a long time. Maybe there were nights when you cried in silence and no one ever knew. If you feel comfortable sharing, you can tell your story here. This is not a place where anyone will judge you. No one will tell you that you're too emotional or that your feelings are too much. Sometimes your story might help someone else realize that they are not alone in what they feel. So if you feel ready, you can share it with us in the comments. What is something you once cried about in silence that no one ever knew?